Hi everyone, my name is Alexandria and I've been building this van for about a year or so. I now live in it with my dog Terra and today I'm ready to show you around. Before we get started though, if you aren't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to follow our journey on the road. Alright, let's get into it. So this is a Ford Transit which does not come stock with a headliner. I did install this and it's created so much more space than I originally would have had. I'm about 5'6" and I have no problem getting in and out of the front, and this has created again a ton of additional storage. I have miscellaneous stuff up here like grocery bags and a spare blanket. I also usually carry my camera tripod up here and Terra's extra items. Moving up into this corner, I have a plant, but really it's just there to hide my Simply Safe because the light really bothers me at night. And so I have this growing here. It's been doing surprisingly well for as little light as it gets. And then my upper cabinets. Up in this cabinet here, I keep all of Terra's items. I have her food, her dog supplies, treats, leashes and harnesses, all of that good stuff. And then in this cabinet here, it's more of my junk cabinet. It's all of the extras. So I have my Wii Boost, I have some toiletries and some camping supplies. And then I have my entire battery monitoring system up there on the left. Under my upper cabinets, I have a vanity, so I have a mirror, a temperature sensor, as well as a dual LED dimmer switch for under cabinet lighting. Right underneath the vanity, I have two drawers. This is really just junk drawers. We all have one. There's no exception in the van, as well as a toiletry drawer, which stores the majority of my toiletry and bath supplies. Underneath my vanity, I have an HSI toilet which pulls out on 300-pound slides, worth every penny, although I didn't believe it at first. I absolutely love this toilet, and it's even doubled as a seat in a pinch when I needed extra seating for dinner. In front of the toilet, I have a dual zone fridge. This is the Dometic CFX 3, I believe, 75, which has both a fridge and freezer compartment. As one person, this can last me anywhere from 6 to 10 days, depending on how long I'm going to be out. Now, above my fridge, I have what could be called, I guess, an office/dining space. This is a lagoon mount table. It swivels around and creates a ton of space in the van. I can also very comfortably sit here and work during the day. I work 10-hour days. It's super important for me to be comfortable and have an ergonomic position, and this definitely does the job. Coming over to the kitchen, you can see that I have ample counter space. I opted to not go for an inlay stove, propane or induction, simply because I only use my stove once or twice a day, and throughout the day I'd much prefer to have the counter space than just have something conveniently there. So instead of putting something in permanently, what I usually use is just my little single burner cooktop. This is perfect. As you can see, very easy to get out, not a hassle whatsoever. And again, I really love this option just because of my lifestyle. In this top drawer, I have all of the basics. I have my measuring cups, my stove, coffee filters, forks and knives. And then in the drawer below, I have all of my snacks. This is always stocked and is probably my favorite drawer in the entire house. Moving over here, I have a sink that's on a swivel. This also has one of the extendable heads, so if I wanted to, it could double as a shower outside. I have my little towel, some GFI plugs, as well as a water tank gauge and my water pump switch, and again, under cabinet lights. Below my pull-out drawers, I have these two doors and a half-height drawer that pulls all the way out with my pots and pans, my kettle, my blender, and some attachments. And then down below, I have an Omnia stove, some tools, and then miscellaneous cleaning supplies. Underneath my sink, I have a 7-gallon gray water tank, as well as all of my water pump supplies and trash bags. And back here, I have one shallow drawer with all of my spices, cooking supplies such as oils and sauces, hot chocolate powders, etc. When I first designed my ceiling, it was made of white shiplap, but I ended up changing my mind due to the clean room feel that I was getting. It was just too much white, and I also ended up having a leak in my ceiling that I needed to fix, and so I took that opportunity to incorporate more wood features as you see around the rest of the van. I did the slatted ceiling look, which was quite difficult, honestly, in the Transit. I did post a video a little while back on how I did that in case you're interested, but it was more than worth it. I love how cozy it makes it feel in here, and even though at first I was worried that the dark ceiling would make it feel cramped, I think it actually makes it feel a little bit bigger because of the dark backing that I put behind it. As I was mentioning, it ties in really well with the rest of the van, all of the dark elements like my countertops, the valances breaking up the kitchen from my bed, as well as behind my office space. Similar to most people in a van, I also have a max air fan. I opted for the version without the remote, which has not caused me too much trouble so far, but in the future, I might spend the extra 50 bucks and get the convenience item. Above my kitchen, I have all of my dry food, my coffee and coffee equipment, and then making our way back to the bed area, I have gear, miscellaneous gear, and food supplies for my nonprofit, Terra. And in the back here, I have all of my books, reading equipment, as well as miscellaneous electronics. The bed is honestly one of my favorite parts of this build. I think a bed is what makes a place a home, and so the fact that I have a comfortable bed to sit in every single night and I don't have to make it like a lot of those convertible beds is really great for me and my lifestyle, and it also allows me to have ample garage space. But something else cool about the bed that you can't really see right now is what's inside, so let's take a look. So if you're paying attention, you might have noticed that I don't have any clothes in the van, but that's actually not the case. All my clothes are stored inside of the bed, which is really easy to convert. All I do is lift this up, pick this wood piece up, and then I just created a very low-tech, but should not break, alternative to gas struts that holds all of it in place. And here I'm able to store all of my clothes for every season. And again, once I'm done grabbing my clothes, it's really easy to take down. You just pop this down, push the bed in, and tuck your sheets back. Now that you've seen the inside, let's go check out my favorite part of the build, the garage. When I was designing my build, the first thing that I planned out was my garage because of the amount of gear that I have. As you can see, it's quite a lot and everything had to be fit in as tight as possible. On the right hand side, I have my skis and snowboard, as well as all of that associated gear, on top of a 24-gallon freshwater tank, which holds all of the water that I use in the van. In addition, I have this spray nozzle that you'll see here on a quick connect. It also has hot water, and so if I want to shower, rinse off the dog, or any of my gear, I have the ability to do so. Next to my water tank, I have my mountain bike and all my other miscellaneous outdoor gear, like climbing equipment, my awning, and an outdoor camp table. This is on 300-pound slide, so it pulls out super easily and allows me to access it all without an issue. Next to my mountain biking gear, I have my traction board stored on the side of this massive box, which holds 8 sets of backpacking and camping gear for women and non-binary people that I take out on camping and backpacking trips through my nonprofit, Terra. And finally, on the far side of the garage, I have all of my van gear, so I have chains, hatchets, some miscellaneous tools to work on things if I needed to, as well as all of my electrical equipment. I have 300 amp hours of lithium-ion batteries from Battleborn, as well as a 60 amp MPPT charger, a 60 amp battery-to-battery charger, which charges off of the van batteries, and a 2,000 watt inverter, all of which is fed by the 550 watts of solar up on the roof on a custom designed and welded aluminum rack. After about 7 months of building and 5 or so months of traveling last year, I finally hit the road full time over the last couple of weeks, and it has been a dream come true. There are some things that are definitely more difficult than I thought they would be. Obviously, living in a van comes with challenges, but this lifestyle has been everything I've ever wanted and more, and I'm so grateful to be out here. So I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone, family, friends, and people that I've met on the road, and the community that I've met on the road who has made this possible and has supported my dream. And thank you to all of you who are watching as well. Before you go, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to follow along on our adventures. Alright, I'll see you guys next week.